So we've gone over some of the video recording formats. Again, 2.7K is sort of what I'm kind of more excited about, but finally having a camera that could do 1080p at 60 frames a second. My 5D can't even do that right now, so it's kind of exciting that this camera can do it. We've also gone one step up in megapixels, so we can do 12 megapixels now on the Hero 3. The burst photo is actually really cool. So now you can get like 30 photos in 1 second. So you can kind of, what I used it for was basically setting it up at a tree and kind of at the moment we were riding by, pressing that button and having this sort of nice sort of series of photos of us sort of going by. And there's a lot of possibilities of what you can do with that later. You can bring it into Photoshop. You can kind of make a sort of locked off photo and have you guys like sort of traveling down the trail. You can do some pretty cool stuff with that. You could actually even have it continuously take up to 10 photos a second over the duration of time you want it to. But you can also do 30 in 1 second, which is pretty dope. You have your time-lapse options, again, 12 megapixels that you could do up to half a second. I think all the way up to like 10. So you can have a photo take every 10 seconds. So this little symbol will actually take photos while you're recording video. So if you enable that, you can just have it take random photos of you throughout the day while you're recording video. That's how you enable Pro Tunes, turn it on, off. And then that's actually limited to certain modes. This is where you can set up your, I passed it again. So this is where you can set up white balance. In the format we are recording in though, I think I can only choose it to do camera raw. But other ones will have presets like 3300K, 5300K, I believe, 6600. Basically what you need to know about those is just basically each one of those is sort of associated with a time of day or a certain weather condition. So before I get into showing you how the remote works, I kind of forgot to mention that on top of doing 16:9, you can actually do 17:9. So they have a 2.7K cinema mode, and I believe that's also available for 4K. So if you want to do 17:9, you can do that. In order to sort of, if you've already synced this remote through your computer, what you're going to want to do is you're going to go to your setup menu, and we'll go to, oh there it is, wireless control. So it's after setup, and we'll just turn this on. So you see Wi-Fi RC, and we'll turn it to current because I've already synced it. So it's going to show the little Wi-Fi symbol and kind of already detects it. So what this is going to do, it's going to mimic everything on this little screen right here. So show this camera. So basically I'll use this button right here to switch between the modes. So camera burst, time lapse. I can even change the settings through this remote and see the screen right here, which is pretty neat. So if I want to take, let's say, a photo burst now, I can just press this button and it just took 30 photos. Now this camera can control up to a ridiculous amount of cameras at once. So you can have, well, I think over 50 cameras connected to this one remote and start and stop them automatically. So if you guys ever come out to the mountain with me and my buddy Rick and Andronic and we all snowboard and ski and have a good day, if we're all connected to the same remote, I can start and stop these all at once, which means they'll automatically be synced up and I won't have to be doing this clap thing later on to try and sync everything up. So that's kind of cool. You can also pair the Hero 3 to the GoPro app. Unfortunately though, with the Hero 3 Black Edition, there's no actual support for it at launch. They say there's going to be a firmware update December 14th that'll allow this to connect and you can sort of preview your footage through your phone. GoPro has a tendency of promising to support things later on, and they usually deliver. It usually just takes a long time, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, so that's hopefully coming soon. So that's enough of the remote. Let's go over the battery real quick before I get into some other things. So here's your Hero expansion. Like I said, your old LCD screen is actually going to work with this. Your old, oh, my battery just died on that guy. Okay, so we'll have to rely just on this camera. So it's got this little flap used to kind of pull this out. Works pretty well. Sometimes I feel like this is gonna rip like that, but it holds on there pretty well. So put that back in. This is another door you might lose. Again, if you buy this sort of this side panel, you'll actually get an extra one of these. You'll actually also get a lens cover in that sort of bundle, which is really cool because I kind of feel it should have came with the camera, but my dive case, I kind of feel it should have came with it, but my GoPro Hero 3 did come with the cover itself, and I kind of wish that this case came with the cover as well, just so it doesn't get scratched in my bag and stuff like that. So a lot of times I'll just toss this in my pocket, throw it in my bag real quick at the end of a run, and it'd just be nice to throw this on top. So some other issues I've been having with this guy is it keeps locking up on me. So I'll get to the end of a run, or I'll be midway through a run, and it'll just beep, and I won't be able to, I'll only be able to turn it off, but then I can't turn it back on until I open this up, take the battery out. I contacted GoPro about a week ago about this. They kind of haven't gotten back to me yet, so it's kind of troublesome. There's also no physical manual. This is a pretty complex camera, and it doesn't come with a manual at all. So I'm out on the field, I'm trying to figure out what to do. My workaround is I've loaded the manual into my phone, but I can understand sort of a green initiative, but the manual in this case is super helpful with how much this camera can do. So I'm hoping they'll put it at least in the GoPro app, so maybe later you can just bring up the manual through the app itself. That would be nice. Like I said before, there's no app support for this until December 14th, so even though it says it connects to the phone, and apparently the silver and the white do, the black does not connect to the phone yet, which means you'll have to rely on an LCD screen to kind of know what you're looking at. But then again, it's a 170-degree angle lens. Pretty much whatever you point it at, it's going to look good. So another thing that kind of stinks is that for $400, you're not getting any of those premium mounts you got from last year's GoPro Hero 2. So that's no head mount, that's no vented helmet mount. You have to buy all that stuff separately. And on top of that, if you want to do external mic, that's an extra $20 for that cable. If you want to get the lens covers, that's an extra $15. You're also going to need new batteries for this year's model. So if you're getting the silver or the white or the black, you got to kind of keep in mind that you're going to eat up batteries faster in this thing because you're filming at higher resolutions, higher speeds. That's going to demand a lot more out of your camera. Batteries aren't too bad. They're only 20 bucks, but those add up quick. In fact, I kind of invested in 2 battery backups in one 6-hour day of mountain biking. I went through 2 of these and 1 of these. So these are only giving me about 2.5 hours, but keep in mind, I mean, I was testing the hell out of this thing. So you might get a whole day out of just 2 of these or 4 of these. That's our quick look of the GoPro Hero3 Black Edition. Overall, I think it's a pretty rad camera. It's got some troubling things with the lockup, some upsetting things with the lack of premium mounts and external mic cables. And come on, no manual? How can you not put a manual in the box? This thing is so user-friendly and complicated at the same time. Throw in a manual, get it in the GoPro app or something like that. Overall though, for the price and what you get out of it, it's definitely a pretty awesome camera. If you can find one this holiday season, I recommend putting it up. Like, subscribe, become a handle camera warrior today.